So 2025 saw some absolutely incredible cameras being released from practically all major camera brands, but there was one camera that I think most people were waiting for, and thankfully it was released at the end of this year, and that camera is of course the Sony a7 IV. Now, I myself was a Sony a7 IV owner, and I absolutely love that camera. It had practically everything that I wanted, but there were just a few things that I thought could be better, and because of that, I actually left my Sony a7 IV, and well, I got something better, and not only is it better than the Sony a7 IV, but I think it's also better than the new Sony a7 V. So what camera is this? Well, it's not the one that you might be thinking of. It's not the Canon R6, it's not the Nikon ZR, nor is it the Panasonic S1 II. However, it is a Panasonic camera, and it's the one that I'm shooting this with right now, and that is the Panasonic Lumix S5 2X full frame camera. Now, this camera is not a new camera. It came out in 2023, and so you might be asking yourself, how can a camera that's been released a few years ago be better than this brand new Sony a7 V, and why I'm not comparing this to newer cameras like the S1 II, the R6, or the Nikon ZR? Well, the first thing is actually the price itself, because currently for a brand new Sony a7 V, along with the kit lens, you're looking around $3,100 US. Whereas if you were going to get a Panasonic S1 II, you're looking at around $3,800, $3,900 US, and maybe $4,000 in certain regions. So that's nearly a $800 to $900 or even $1,000 difference versus the Sony a7 V. And then the Canon R6 is also near the $4,000 range. And even though the Nikon ZR is going to be less than the Sony a7 V, I don't think it's in the same type of category, whereas the ZR is more video focused. The Sony a7 V is more of a hybrid camera. And so with all of that being said, why did I choose the Panasonic S5 2X? Well, the price, as I mentioned a little bit earlier, it's a lot closer to the Sony a7 V. And so those other cameras that I talked about, there's pretty large gaps except for the ZR, whereas the S5 2X currently is selling for $2,800 US. That comes with the kit lens, and quite often it goes on sale and it can go as low as $2,500. So I think the price of this camera is very similar to the Sony a7 V. So that is the first thing. Now let's get into the reasons why I feel the Panasonic S5 2X is a better camera than the Sony a7 V. Starting with autofocus. Now, I know what you're thinking, that Sony autofocus is the best. And being a previous Sony a7 IV user myself, I can't disagree with you on that. But the reason why I say this is an advantage for the S5 2X is, well, Panasonic has never been known for great video autofocus. And as a matter of fact, it's just been absolutely trash until Panasonic released the S5 II, S5 2X, and all newer Panasonic cameras since then, because they now finally have a reliable phase detect autofocus system, whereas before it was just purely their DFD contrast based system, which was absolutely horrible and unreliable. And Panasonic has made continual improvements to the autofocus system on their Panasonic cameras, to where now I really don't think about it at all, especially if I'm shooting these type of videos where autofocus is pretty important for me. And even though it's not quite at the level of Sony, I feel it's like 98 to 99% there. And that's why I feel it is an advantage, because this is the one major weakness that Panasonic cameras had before. But nowadays, people really don't even talk about the autofocus because it's actually that good. And then the second major thing that Panasonic has been known for, and they're still best in class, is for their stabilization. Panasonic stabilization is absolutely amazing, and once you use it, it's really hard to go back to any other system. And even though the Sony a7 V and most new Sony cameras have really great to fantastic stabilization, I still feel it's not quite to that level of Panasonic. Very similar to the autofocus where Sony is at the top and Panasonic is close to it. Panasonic still has the best stabilization and Sony is close to it as well. And so you have now great reliable video autofocus and the amazing stabilization that Panasonic is known for. But what are some other things that the S5 IIX offers that the A7 IV doesn't? Now, this isn't going to be a complete list of feature differences between these two cameras. These are just some key things that I noticed that the S5 IIX offers that the A7 IV doesn't, starting with real-time LUTs. Now, even though Sony does offer some LUT support, it's nowhere near the level of features and customization that Panasonic offers, especially using their Lumix Lab app. And then other things that the S5 IIX offers are internal ProRes recording, the ability to record to an external SSD, giving you even higher ProRes quality along with RAW and Blackmagic RAW support. And then other features I like using are hybrid zoom, which is very similar to Sony's clear image zoom, but I think it is better. And also better monitoring tools like waveform, vector scopes. And then of course, I think the big one for some people is of course 6K open gate along with anamorphic support. Panasonic leads the way, and this is a feature that I actually am using right now that is not offered in the A7 IV or even some of their higher end cameras. And then other things outside of the camera itself, I really love using the Lumix Lab app and the Lumix Flow app, which allows you to control your camera but also have multiple monitoring features along with multiple screen monitoring support. These are all really awesome features that really gives this camera even more functionality. And then the final thing that Panasonic offers with their S5 IIX, but also just their overall cameras in general, is superior firmware updates, giving you a lot of new useful features that makes your camera feel like a brand new camera. It's like, for example, with my S5 IIX, I've had multiple new features added that I didn't have before. Things such as hybrid zoom, proxy recording, MP4-like format, and real-time LUT support. All of these things weren't available in the form that they are, or even weren't available at all whenever I bought my camera. Whereas whenever I had my Sony a7 IV, there were basically bug fix stabilization fixes whenever I had a firmware update. Nothing really useful at the end of the day. Now, with all the features available in the S5 IIX that's lacking in the A7 IV, does that mean that the Sony camera isn't worth getting? Well, no, because there are things that the A7 IV does better. Things such as a higher resolution sensor at 33 megapixels versus 24 megapixels. So if you're primarily a photographer, you are going to get more out of the Sony camera. And then secondly, the A7 V offers 4K 60 frames per second with no crop, whereas the S5 IIX does have a crop. And then the sensor on the A7 V is faster. It has a faster readout, and so you're going to get less rolling shutter. And then the final big one for a lot of people out there is the Sony ecosystem. They still offer probably the best overall ecosystem when it comes to variety of lenses and also prices. And even though Panasonic is getting better, it still has a long way to go before it gets to the Sony level. And so those are my thoughts on why I feel the Panasonic S5 IIX is a better camera over the A7 V. And once again, that's not to say that the Sony a7 V is a bad camera. It's actually a really fantastic camera, especially if you are in the Sony ecosystem. But I really feel Panasonic just offers you so much more, especially when it comes to video features. And they're constantly improving their cameras through firmware updates. Whereas with Sony, I kind of feel that they've just gotten really comfortable, especially with the large market share that they have versus other companies like Panasonic. And at the end of the day, I just feel like Sony doesn't care about their customers, and they're happier with offering you less while charging you more money. Whereas with companies like Panasonic, it seems like they're always trying to improve things, listening to their customers, and giving people what they want and more. And that says a lot about the companies and the people behind it, and that's going to make me a fan for a lifetime as long as they continually do that. And so at the end of the day, that is why I choose the the Panasonic S5 IIX over the Sony a7 IV, and just overall why I am a big fan of Panasonic in general. So if you actually had any thoughts on the Panasonic S5 IIX, the Sony a7 IV, or any other cameras that you enjoy using, be sure to leave that in the comments area below. And if you did want to see more of my Panasonic or Sony videos, I do have an entire playlist. I'll leave that in the description area below.